Right now at 10, local teachers rally for fair pay. We'll speak with educators after they say the board held a secret meeting to limit their pay raise.
And a little bit of rainfall for some parts of southern Wisconsin this morning, but we have more rain chances in the forecast. The very latest on tomorrow night showers and the showers at the end of the week. I'll give you a glimpse.
Plus, construction begins on the long-awaited John Nolan Drive project. The impacts expected for local drivers over the coming weeks. And that's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson.
And I'm Eric Franke. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Richland County, where a man faces murder charges following a death investigation.
Judd Frazier is facing criminal charges of felony murder and also felon in possession of a firearm. On September 29th, the sheriff's office says that deputies were called to rural Richland County, where they found a man dead. Investigators learned that an alleged physical altercation happened there days earlier involving the victim. That investigation led to Frazier's arrest. He is being held in the Richland County Jail.
Janesville teachers are upset with the district over what they claim is an inadequate increase in pay in the most recent contract, but the district says it did everything it could to support its staff.
Our Ellie La Liberté was at a teachers rally today and has more on the disagreement.
When we fight, we win!
Laura Madison is taking her lesson outside of the classroom.
It's clear that we're not really keeping up with inflation and we're not getting enough support financially.
Madison is the president of the Janesville Education Association, the district's teachers union. She says the most recent contract doesn't add up.
There's issue with the way the salary structure is created. There's also an issue with how they choose to define base wage.
In September, the Janesville School Board voted 7-0 to impose the district's contract offer on teachers and other staff.
The teachers wanted us to negotiate differently. They wanted a different negotiation, so we looked at that, and the different negotiation was not agreed upon.
The contract includes a base wage increase of 2.95%. But Madison says that doesn't equal a raise.
It was nothing additional, which after 2 years of increased insurance costs is very tough for staff.
But District Superintendent Mark Holzman says it is an increase.
We have a teacher salary schedule that's been agreed upon. Our board agreed that we will take a look at that to see if there's other places in the future that we can provide compensation. But right now, we offered them the maximum amount allowable.
It's too late to change the contract now, but the union hopes speaking out will force the district to look at the formula in the future. Reporting in Janesville, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Ellie. Now, this disagreement also partly stems from Wisconsin's 2011 Act 10 legislation, which limited collective bargaining for public employees. It prohibits teachers from striking and limits what they can ask for.
The holidays are quickly approaching, but with the ongoing tariffs, many American shoppers are now in decision mode regarding how much to spend on travel, gifts, and even decorations. In a new survey from Bankrate, 41% of respondents say they're concerned holiday gifts will be more expensive this year, and roughly a third of shoppers plan to take on debt. The survey also found fewer people are planning to travel during the period between Thanksgiving and New Year's.
We see that only 21% of U.S. adults are planning holiday travel this year. Last year, it was 27%. And I'm surprised that this is going down just because through September, the TSA has actually processed more air travelers this year than last year per day.
Travel experts say there's still time to book for those looking to go home for the holidays. And when it's time to travel, be prepared. Have your airline's app on your phone to track your plane and rebook if necessary.
Now looking at the weather, some areas saw some rain early this morning, but we don't know if there are any morning showers anyway.
Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington will tell us. He joins us with a peek at the forecast.
He sure will. We did have about 1/10 of an inch to maybe 2/10 at most. Not a big rain as we've been forecasting and mentioning, but there are more showers that are in the forecast, and they start as early as this time tomorrow night. Tuesday night going on into Wednesday, a weather system will bring us some scattered showers, maybe a rumble or two of thunder. And it's not the only rain chance that we have in the upcoming work week here as we head out towards towards Friday and going on into Saturday, we have another chance for scattered showers and for thunderstorms. And when I come back here in just a couple of minutes, we're going to track this first round of showers here and how much water you can expect. The forecast has changed just a bit. And then I'm going to give you a first glimpse. I know it's a little bit on the ways out of that cold front and those showers and those storm chances expected a little bit later in the week. And also first to let you know here, we just have issued from the National Weather Service dense fog advisory for our friends off towards the east, towards Beaver Dam and over towards Jefferson until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. But again, the very latest in all that moisture, we're going to track it together and how much you can expect in a couple of minutes.
All right, thank you, Alex. Well, the long-awaited John Nolan reconstruction project is underway.
Now it'll impact residents heading to and from downtown Madison. Jalen Banks had the chance to catch up with some residents, see how it will affect them.
Monday marks day one of a multi-year reconstruction project for John Nolan Drive. Earlier, I had the chance to catch up with residents on how this will impact them. Phase 1 of 3 is set to run for the next 2 years. We had the chance to catch up with engineers who were a part of the planning of the project, and they say this phase is the most extensive because multiple bridges will either be built or worked on during that time. Earlier, we had the chance to catch up with some Madison residents who use John Nolan regularly. They say this will have a major impact over the next 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be kind of a pain because it's just like such an easy road to take in downtown from wherever. So yeah, it's probably going to be pretty annoying. Yeah, I work on the west side, so probably just take a different route, like take University down.
Gonna look at maybe working from home on days maybe where I see traffic being busier. I mean, it's already a pretty busy road in the mornings. We've got the bus lanes now that are bus only that take up some space. And so, yeah, I mean, there's also, I think the speed limit there is also 25 miles per hour. So I think it's going to be a lot more volume at a lot slower pace.
Construction for phase 1 will conclude in 2027. For now, reporting at John Nolan, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
As part of the project, they will rebuild the 6 existing bridges, add 3 more as well. They're also expanding bike and pedestrian paths and upgrading storm sewers and traffic signals. The best way to get around the construction if you're headed downtown would be to take South Park Street to West Washington Avenue.
All right, a quick update. The Brewers have just wrapped up at American Family Field. Game 1 of the National League Championship Series against the Dodgers. It just went final. Bryce Terang striking out with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning. A Freddie Freeman homer and a bases loaded walk were how the Dodgers got their 2 runs. 2-1 the final. In Game 1, the Dodgers take a 1-0 series lead. Well, next tonight at 10, the Wisconsin Air National Guard's 115 Fighter Wing conducting evening training flights. You might hear this week in the Madison area. The F-35 aircraft takes off and lands at Dane County Regional Airport and Truax Field until 9:30. It'll happen Tuesday through Thursday. The Guard requires nighttime training throughout the year to keep pilots and personnel prepared for operations.
And you may want to think about tackling your home improvement projects before the end of the year. The Energy Efficient Home Improvement Credit allows you to claim up to $3,200 for certain upgrades, but that tax break expires December 31st. Home services company Front Door says it's an especially good time to get that HVAC system replaced.
From the U.S. Department of Energy that a high-efficiency HVAC unit can save households up to 20% of their annual energy bills.
Make sure you have it installed and paid for by the end of the year.
Now, tax consulting specialists say to save your receipts or get a certification of completion. Now, you don't need to send them in to the IRS, but keep them for your records. And keep in mind, you can't get back more on the credit than you owe in taxes.
Post Malone is coming to Milwaukee to headline Summerfest next summer. He's scheduled to perform June 27th. Post Malone joins Garth Brooks and Ed Sheeran as the headliners for Summerfest in 2026. Garth Brooks even had to add a second day due to high demand. An artist pre-sale for Post Malone set to begin Wednesday at 10 a.m. It'll run through Thursday at 10 a.m. A venue pre-sale will start Thursday at 10 a.m. and end at 10 p.m. that same night. Still ahead at 10, Alex Reed joins us to tell us about our shower chances for the rest of the week.
And there's no end in sight for the government shutdown at this point. How Wisconsin lawmakers are looking to keep women and children in need fed during the deadlock.
Watching News 3 Now at 10.
Well, it's been nearly 2 weeks since the start of the government shutdown, and social services around the country are seeing the effects.
Our Maddie Heimsch brings us the status of one program seeing families in need, but funding is in flux.
The Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, or WIC, provides services to nearly 60,000 families across the state. But until Democrats and Republicans in Congress can come to a spending agreement, the federally funded program, like many others, is at risk.
Funding for the WIC program, Women's, Infants, and Children program, was about set to expire. I think the White House is trying to figure out a way to move resources around to be able to keep that program up and funded.
In its efforts to keep WIC up and funded, the federal government is providing reallocation funds from the Food and Nutrition Service to pay out program benefits through the month of October. But that isn't stopping Wisconsin lawmakers from anticipating an eventual funding lapse when November hits.
That's a lot of households, a lot of families who wouldn't be able to eat, wouldn't be able to survive without the subsidy.
Representative Renuka Mayadev is the author of a bill circulating in the Wisconsin state capitol, calling for the state to appropriate funds to the WIC program. According to the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, more than 40% of babies born in the state benefit in some way from the program's grocery subsidies, immunization screenings, and breastfeeding supports.
If that stops coming from the federal government, I thought it's our obligation to make sure that new mothers and children, the majority of participants on WIC, are children. We cannot let them go hungry.
Mayadev says if the bill passes,
we can use state funding to backfill the shortcoming.
Families can avoid any gap in benefits, and the state can ask for federal reimbursement when the shutdown ends. The legislation is currently circulating for co-sponsorship. For now, all WIC benefits, appointments, and services continue to be available.
Maddie, thank you. Senators in Washington are expected to vote again on funding proposals tomorrow night.
After more than 2 years of war, the remaining living Israeli hostages are now back in Israel, and the fighting in Gaza has stopped. Also, as part of this peace deal, nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners were returned to the West Bank and Gaza. Though there are other major hurdles ahead, including who will govern Gaza and the disarming of Hamas.
Well, let's take a look at your forecast now. It has been a dry stretch. We did have a little bit of rain today, and Alex is going to tell us when more might be heading our way.
Yeah, a wee bit of rain this morning, and those showers will be entering the picture again tomorrow with another weather system as early as 6 o'clock for areas over towards the Mississippi River. So this would include Viroqua over towards Bosqueville, maybe even Platteville by around 6 o'clock. As we put this into motion here, we have had a change in our future track projection from earlier in the 6 o'clock newscast. Looking at more widespread showers, maybe a rumble or two of thunder just a little bit further south than what we were looking at 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, it was more towards central Wisconsin. Right now, that band may be just sneaking down just a little bit, catching the Dells, maybe over towards Richland Center and over towards Beaver Dam by the time we get to 2 o'clock in the morning, and a little bit more in the way of widespread activity here going into Wednesday morning than earlier in the forecast at 6. So this could add a couple more raindrops to some soils that desperately could use some water here. So those scattered showers will end by the time we get to 6, 7 o'clock, and then just a cloudy gray day on Wednesday with temperatures where they should be for this time of year. This has changed from 6 o'clock, the ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch. We're way projected up towards central Wisconsin, sneaking a little bit further towards the south. So seeing just somewhat of a southward dip in this band of showers and a couple of thunderstorms. So let's say 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch conservatively. Some areas may be squeezing out a ½ inch of water here Tuesday night going on into Wednesday. And we need this again here, folks. I know the farmers are getting the harvest in and the dry weather has been helpful, but the soils and the watershed continue to dry out and dry out and dry out. Abnormally dry conditions extending all the way from the Dells to the Wisconsin-Illinois border. And just like what we saw last year, Monroe over towards Janesville, right around this time of year, moderate drought building in with more raindrops. Hopefully that can help keep this drying soils from continuing to expand across southern Wisconsin. But we could use some more raindrops, and we have more raindrops in the forecast. I said at 6, Friday going on into Saturday, another weather system. Let's give you a glimpse of that cold front coming through here. As we move into Friday night, winds are coming up out of the south, the cold front's to the west over towards La Crosse. It gets its act together over us over southern Wisconsin, bringing those showers perhaps a little bit more widespread from Madison and areas off towards the east. That's a couple days away. We'll be keeping an eye on that cold front. Showers and a couple thunderstorms expected with it, mainly Friday night going into the early morning hours of Saturday, but not expecting any severe weather with that front. 40s tonight to near 50 degrees, so seasonable, if not just a touch above normal for this time of year. Don't want to dismiss, we have a dense fog advisory, so if you have any travel tomorrow morning, Madison and areas to the east, take it a bit on the easy side with highs tomorrow in the 60s to near 70. And I have a October-like forecast here all the way through the 10-day. Besides Friday and Saturday, up near 70 degrees, these temperatures are pretty close to normal for this time of year with on and off shower chances, which is what you would absolutely expect in October.
We'll take
Not
it.
90s.
Oh, it's a relief. Thanks, Alex.
Sure.
Won't be long. We'll have to get ready for winter weather, and we're helping you get winter ready with our First Warn Weather Team this Wednesday evening, 6:30 p.m. right here on Channel 3. We'll head to the National Weather Service office in Milwaukee to break down the dangerous reality of snow squall warnings, why they're issued, what they mean, and how a sudden whiteout can turn deadly in mere seconds.
When there's low visibility, you might not be able to see up ahead that there's this multi-car accident that's happened and you drive right into it. So very dangerous situation that we're trying to warn people of.
So mark your calendar. The Winter Ready special airs this Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. on WISC TV3.
Well, the Packers are riding high after that win against Joe Flacco and the Bengals, but during Sunday's game, the defense just could not get a stop in the second half.
As News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde tells us, that's something head coach Matt LaFleur is looking to address.
The Green Bay Packers defense has had its ups and downs during the first 5 games of the season, but those downs seem to always be late in the game. Even though they sit at 3-1-1 through those 5 games, the last 2 games, their fourth quarter numbers have been troubling. In fact, overall on the season, the Packers have allowed 102 points. 80 of those 102 have come after halftime, and 63 of them have come either in the fourth quarter or in overtime. And it's got Matt LaFleur and defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley scratching their heads.
We're just like, well, why is that happening? Are we running out of gas? Obviously, they got the ball to start the second half. They go on that 18-play drive or whatever it was. I mean, ate up damn near 10 minutes off the clock or whatever it was. And I don't know, does that gas you out? Does that make you more tired? Do we need to roll more guys in the first half? The hard part of the first half was a bunch of 3 and outs, so guys feel fresh, and then you put them in there. So, you know, there's things we talked about in regards to, are we well conditioned enough from practice? You know, did our guys do enough on the bye week? All that stuff has kind of been floated around, trying to figure out as to why this is happening, because certainly we're trying to find solutions.
We'll see if the Packers can get that figured out in time for next Sunday's game at Arizona. We'll have full coverage throughout the week leading into the game and of the game itself on our website, channel3000.com, for free. And while you're there, remember to sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers our coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Like Jason said, the Packers hit the road to take on the Cardinals out in Phoenix this Sunday. Kickoff set for 3:25 p.m. So everybody's on pins and needles. Game 1 took them a long time to get the bats going, but they made it interesting.
They certainly made it interesting at the end. And still to come in sports, this season has felt like 1982 all over again. But could the Crew come through in Game 1 of the NLCS? That answer next on News 3 Now. For the first time since 2018, the Brewers are on the brink of a World Series berth. But first, they've got to win 4 games against the Dodgers. You might call it David versus Goliath, but I call it the best team in baseball against the highest paid team in baseball. Scoreless in the 4th, bases loaded with 1 out for LA, and the Crew sprinkle in some euchre magic. Sal Frelick brings back a grand slam, but it hits off the wall, so it's not an out there, but this is. He throws out the runner at home, and William Contreras doubles the Dodgers up to get out of the jam, but eventually LA LA did get one across. In the 6th, Freddie Freeman with the solo home run for the first score of the series. And in the 9th, an incredibly valuable insurance run. Abner Uribe walks in the second LA run of the game. But in the bottom of the frame, the Crew cut it in half. Jackson Churio drives in Isaac Collins on the sac fly to make it a one-run game in the 9th. And later in the frame, 2-1 Dodgers with the bases loaded. Bryce Terang falls short on the chance to play hero as the Brewers come up short, leaving the bases juiced and fall short in Game 1, losing 2-1. Their first time being shut out at home since 1980, their 8th straight loss in the Big Ten, and their first time allowing 35-plus points to Iowa since their rivalry began in 1894. No matter which way you spin it, Wisconsin football's loss on Saturday was a new low, leaving people asking a fair question. Should Luke Fickell still be the person in charge of Wisconsin football? We asked him just that this morning, and he answered the question that is everybody's asking is, can he convince the fan base that he's the guy to stick around?
I don't know that that's my position, right? I mean, first and foremost, I got to make sure that the locker room is the most important thing, right? I'm not going to change people's minds outside of the results, obviously change people's minds. So to go out there and start some campaign of some sorts, like the truth of the matter is, you know, we got to go game by game. We got to get the guys inside this locker room. That's what I asked about, right? I mean, like, they can be mad at me, they can be down on me. That's perfectly fine, but don't be down on those guys in that locker room.
To the basketball court where Greg Gard's Badgers began the season ranked 24th in the AP poll. But today was Wisconsin men's basketball media day, and transfer forward Austin Rapp told me they are much better than that. But here in the studio, I tell you, it doesn't get much better than Sarah Carlson. The incredible feat that she accomplished this weekend, next on News 3 Now.
A big shout out to end the show tonight. Sarah just completed the Chicago Marathon. Not even like 36 hours ago. You were out there running, and you're standing up here. Your legs are doing pretty good.
Only one injured toe, and it's going to be okay. Feeling great today, though. No injuries. Big time.
Very special race, though, for you, for more reasons than one.
This one was really special because I got to run it with my beautiful daughter, Madeline. She flew in, that's her shirt, she flew in from Savannah, Georgia, and she was fundraising for epilepsy, which I have struggled with, and she lived
very
with me
supportive
all
of
these
you,
years.
and
Yeah.
how you guys raised money together for a great cause. 54,000 ran in the Chicago Marathon. Sarah was in the, let's just say, in the top half overall, which is fantastic, and in the top nine, way up there among women, 8,902nd place, which is, sounds like it's down there, but that's incredible.
It is.
Great job. You were nervous all last week about getting sick. She was keeping her distance from everybody.
Everyone who sneezed or coughed, I'd be like,
that's right.
Get away from me.
Very proud of you. Congrats.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
I really appreciate it. It was a blast.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight for News 3 Now at 10.